Welcome back to my series, Dance Mums Uncovered. I've identified fake scenes and situations a lot in this series, but in this episode I also want to look at exactly how things were planned to make compelling television. There were many techniques used by the show's producers to manufacture dramatic scenes or storylines, because there was more to almost every scene of Dance Mums than the producers cared to show. Feel free to share your thoughts on the following evidence. First, let's look at manipulated scenes. The speed dating scene was all set up for the show. According to Abby, the man who played football was the brother of the line producer. And another one of the men Abby went on a date with apparently had a wife who wasn't very happy about it. In Season 7, during the week of the Clowning Around group number, a clown appeared outside the ALDC. It turns out that this was all set up. The man was actually Abby's assistant, and you can even see that he wore an ALDC t-shirt underneath the clown costume.
So I look outside, and there's this clown across the street in the parking lot. It's my assistant, Logan. Did the mothers not recognize him?
Kathy has revealed that during the big fight between her and Abby, the producers made her go into the dressing room to rile her up. After she finished, the producers weren't happy with it, so they pushed her back into the room. It was after this when things got chaotic. Abby threw water at her, and Kathy hit Abby with her purse.
I had went in, delivered what they wanted me to, turned around and came back out of the room because they always made me go into her room. They, as the cameramen and producers, are standing there pushing me back in. You have to go back in. It wasn't long enough. We don't have enough content.
Right.
So when I walked back in, that's when she threw water on me.
According to Jess, Abby didn't want JoJo to go to the audition in Season 5. However, the producers loved them and wanted them to go too. Since JoJo wasn't given a script, a producer suggested to Jess that she should steal one. Jess says that she chose Kalani's script because she knew Kalani wouldn't care and Kira wouldn't take it personally.
Abby didn't want JoJo to go. She only wanted her girls to go, but we were part of the TV show, so we were gonna be going, and they're like, yeah, but JoJo doesn't have a script. One of the little producer girls was like, you should just go steal a script. And I was like, dude, I will. I was still a little frightened of the other moms, to be honest, but I knew Kira from ADCs. Kira will get mad, but she's not gonna get like mad enough to hate me over it.
Did I really care? Probably not.
No, that's why I stole yours.
During the mum dance in Season 1, Kathy had already planned to do a little solo. The producers were going to plan something for her, but Kathy already knew exactly what she wanted to do.
Did the moms really not know you were going to take over and do a little solo?
No, they had no idea. I was going to kind of do something like that anyhow.
Yeah.
And the producer came up to me and said, now here's what's going to happen. And I went, oh, I'm already prepared for you. When they were filming somebody else that day, I was off over in a corridor rehearsing what I was going to do.
And finally, JoJo didn't find it hard to breathe in the plastic bubble during Season 6, Episode 1. She just found it quite hot. She says it was the producers who made a big deal out of it, acting as though she could suffocate to create more drama.
It was not that bad. And production was like, you can only be in it for 5 minutes, safety. And I was like, dude, I'm fine. It wasn't like I couldn't breathe. I was scared. It just got really hot.
Next, let's explore the filming process. When people are filmed living out their daily lives, there are some situations where things need to be adjusted to allow the cameras to capture the best footage possible. One instance is that during staged conversations, the cast had to face the camera, not each other. This is an easy way to spot conversations that the producers tried to coach throughout the show. Even something as simple as walking into a building had to be done over and over to make sure that the editors had plenty of good footage to work with. Abby has said that some of her Pittsburgh students who weren't featured on the show were forced to wait outside in the snow while the crew filmed in the lobby. It was revealed that in Season 8, the cast's arrival was heavily directed by producers. They had to wait their turn to drive into the ALDC parking lot, and then needed to wait for the signal to get out of their cars and enter the building.
How many times do we have to walk in out of the building? A lot of times. Because, like, they would miss something, or, you know, like, we walked weird, or we weren't close enough together. Like, we were just walking in, but, like, something would happen, and we'd have to go back out.
It was 20 below zero. It's snowing outside. People bust their butt to get their kid to dance class on time. And then it was like, stop. We're filming a scene in the lobby. You can't come in.
Each week, the cast members would sit down with producers for interviews that would be used throughout each episode. The cast had to talk about the previous week in the present tense, as though it were happening to them right then and there. But there was also a bit more manipulation going on in these interviews. According to the cast, the producers sometimes told them exactly what to say, or heavily encouraged particular responses. For instance, Liliana revealed that her interview where she wouldn't speak to the producer was fake. JoJo has also said that when she made fun of Kendall for crying over her duet, she only did it because she was in the room with one of her favourite producers, and she felt comfortable joking around them.
Why, when you were young, did you not speak to the producers?
That was fake! I was in an interview with my favorite producer on the show, Madison, and we were just talking back and forth, and she was like, so tell me what Kendall was like, and I just did that because she was my friend, and I was just telling you that, then it ended up getting used.
Liliana admitted that when the kids didn't do enough school hours, they weren't allowed to be in the room with cameras. This meant that in the few instances where there were cameras in the bathroom, they weren't allowed to go in.
You have to have a certain amount of hours for school done, or else you cannot walk into a room with a camera in it. Even if you're not on camera, you still can't like walk into the room. I've had to like go to the bathroom once, and like the cameras were there, so I couldn't go.
Evidence number 3, misleading editing. It is well known that the editors of Dance Moms are particularly sneaky when it comes to portraying people in particular ways. For instance, when Abby insulted Chloe's eye, they made it look like she called Chloe washed up to make Abby look less mean. Or when Kira threw a water bottle at a producer called Tessa, but it was edited to look like she threw it at Jess. Stacey found herself in a similar situation in season 8, when she yelled at a producer about a storyline, and it was made to look like she was yelling at Abby.
The day she threw the water bottle at the producers
Sends me.
makes me look like they're throwing it at me.
Yes.
Oh my god.
She threw it at a producer.
Yes, named Tessa.
This is actually me yelling at the producers. They're making it look like I'm yelling at Abby, I guess.
Editing was also done to exaggerate scenes and make them seem more dramatic than they really were. In season 1, Paige got burned by a curling iron. She confirmed that the sizzle sound was just a sound effect added in post-production to make it seem more dramatic. It was still very serious though. Paige says that she still has the scar to this day.
When they showed it on the show, they made it seem so much more dramatic. They had like a sizzle and stuff. Yes, I did, but I like still have a scar.
In season 5, Abby made the girls write reasons why JoJo should and shouldn't join their team. It's hard to watch JoJo cry as her teammates give her critiques. However, recently, Jess has revealed that JoJo was actually crying out of happiness over getting her jacket, and it was edited to look like she was hurt by the comments of her teammates. Kendall said that it made them really sad to list positives and negatives about JoJo. Jess suggested, however, that this scene was just one of those sad situations that are necessary for good reality TV.
It shows JoJo crying in that clip. Yeah. She was not crying because of what the girl said. She was crying because she got her jacket and she was happy. They had to do it for their part of the TV show, which is, it's reality TV's hard. You gotta like put yourself out there.
Shockingly, the producers even went so far as to Photoshop Eliana's pyramid headshot to make it look uglier than the original photograph.
Did you get to pick your headshot?
No, I had something that I submitted that I actually felt she looked good in. And they photoshopped it. I'm like...
This is actually a really cruel thing to do to a kid who was excited to be featured on television. 4. Fake rivalries. There were many instances on the show where rivalries were forced upon particular cast members. During season 2 of Dance Moms, Abby and Kathy admitted that they were actually friends, despite their fighting on the show. Jill, on the other hand, says that she had to pretend to like Kathy when she went to the Candy Apples in season 2. Since then, they've found it difficult to hide their disdain for each other, both on and off camera. Sarah Reasons said that everyone was well aware that the rivalry between the Select Team and the Elite Team in season 4 was just for the show. She revealed that they were all actually very close during their time together.
Most of the drama isn't really real, so we were all friends behind the scenes. We all know it's for the show.
Season 8 was riddled with fake rivalries. Liliana admitted that the producers would get the mums to fake fight, and that the mums generally got on very well when the cameras weren't rolling. In the same video, she claimed that everyone felt sorry for Sarah Georgiana, and that no one really understood their storyline. Even the very intense rivalry between Liliana and Eliana was made up for the sake of the show.
In real life, we all felt horrible for Sarah and Michelle. Nobody really understood the story.
Lily and I, indeed, still are really good friends.
There's no problem between us, like we're still friends.
Finally, we have producer culture. The culture on the set of Dance Moms, especially in the later seasons, was heavily shaped by what the producers wanted the cast to do. They were the ones with the power to keep or reject cast members, so pleasing them was a top priority for many of the people who joined the show. According to Kathy and the Season 8 mums, they would get pep talks in the morning to discuss what the producers wanted to see during filming for that day. They were told in advance some of the things that they needed to expect, such as phone calls that they would need to receive later on in the day.
I would go into makeup in the morning and they would come in with their notes and they would tell me, okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Jill's gonna call you. So look out for a phone call. Of course, we had to always put it on speaker.
On the set of Dance Moms, the cast had to get used to the idea that the producers could listen to them at all times through their microphones. They kept them on even when the cast went to the bathroom. This made it very difficult to do things without the producers knowing about it, and also meant that they could gather private information about the cast. This information could later be used to figure out what would get the mums really angry, to produce drama for the show.
Even in the bathroom, like, they could hear us. So I had to like cover my mic.
So even when you're like literally using the bathroom, you have to go like this.
They would create these storylines just from listening to us talking. We had those mics on for 12 hours a day. So they would hear us talking our personal conversations with our friends or our children on our phones, home to our husbands.
Whenever a mum had to leave to go to the bathroom and step away from the other mums, they were encouraged to talk about the absent mum and then attack them when they returned. Christy says that it got to the point where she wouldn't go to the bathroom anymore to avoid being berated when she returned. There was also this weird standard where the producers tried to maintain the fourth wall on the show. This meant that the cast had to pretend that they were famous because of their reputation in the dance world, or because of the music videos they were in, even though they were famous for being on a successful television show. They were so well known, in fact, that they had to stop wearing their iconic pink coats for security reasons.
I used to sit there and think to myself, I am not going to the bathroom tonight, because if I go to the bathroom and I come back here, I'm going to get attacked about something. I didn't want to leave the room for them to talk about me. And we had to do this all the time on the show. We had to be like, the girls are famous because the ALDC is famous. And I'm like, the girls are famous because they're on a hit show. But you can't break the fourth wall.
We had to stop having them all wear pink coats together. Our security guards actually no more pink coats.
Overall, the mums found it really difficult to see the way they were represented on the show, especially when they couldn't get their opinions across without looking crazy.
The stress for me was wondering how we were going to be portrayed, and how I could communicate my point without looking crazy.
So what do you guys think? How much of Dance Moms do you think was faked or manipulated? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.